Hello and welcome to week 4 of the fitness tracker project. This week hasn't been as productive as I'd like it to be, but we have done some stuff and I did some catch up this morning. So yeah, I guess I'll quickly show what it's looking like now. Because there's not too much in terms of functionality that's changed. It's just more restructuring, reformatting, and adding support for TypeScript and Vite, I think it's called, and also making the code base such that I can easily extend it, because last week I think we all had it all in one .js file, and yeah, that's probably not very good and not very scalable for the rest of our endpoint. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to get into the bugs and problems we face with that. But to start off with, yep, we got the backend running here, and then if I get this, now I've got Vite, so that now runs it, and you can see it in my local host, it's running, and look at that. Nice, it looks clean. It's got a nice bit of CSS going on. Like if you take out the CSS, how do I take out the CSS? I take this out, and then this is how it sort of looked last week. Okay, with a table, but now we have some nice designs. Admittedly, there are a lot of defaults from the Vite thing, but hey, I still think it looks awesome. But yeah, that's what we have so far. So what have we done this week? So we switched from JavaScript to TypeScript. This was a huge pain in the ass. I themed my VS Code. You can see the background has nice, got this peaceful lakeside deer thing. I changed the delete endpoint to return an empty payload instead of a string. This is because we had, I think, 3 different types of objects and then a list of those objects and then also a string as our 7 return types. Yeah, so now we have 6. And actually, if we go later on, you'll see that I actually want to cut that down to 3, but we'll get to that. I've made an enum for the 3 data types from backend to frontend. So I put that here because I did do it, but then I ended up not using it. And then I found a way to restructure, what's the word? Refactored it out such that we don't even need it, because I think there was also an issue with, I think enum types aren't allowed in one of the ts.config things. If I remember which one it is, erasable syntax only apparently doesn't allow enums. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's viewed as a not great thing. So we refactored it out. Yeah, so we wanted to split it out into multiple files, and we managed to do it, but there was a lot of trouble with that. So yeah, I'll get to the bugs actually. I'll start with the bugs. Basically, we were compiling it, and then it would compile it into individual .js files, all our .ts files, but they weren't linking up very well. It would have like boilerplate code at the top, and then so my imports would be underneath, so then that wasn't allowed, and then it was also using exports, which wasn't apparently allowed, and there was a lot of stuff. So then we tried using tsconfig to like change things around to see if we can make it work, and then we realized we needed either Babel, Webpack, or Vite as one of those, like I think bundler or module. They basically do a lot of stuff, but the thing we needed it for is to compile it into .js files that interact nicely with each other instead of the base TSC. So yeah, we did that. What went well? So it looks nicer. I feel happier with the way everything looks. So I'll show you quickly what it looks like. This all used to be on one file, and now I split it off into all entries in here, and all exercises, all workouts, and then we have some models. And then we have a utility that gets used throughout to make the tables, rows, and cells, which we can, yeah, use in all of these instead of having a copy of them in each. So I'm hoping that makes it easier to make changes more generally. So yeah. What could have been done better? I wish we'd started with TypeScript instead of JavaScript, because migrating was a pain. There's a lot of things we had to get rid of, a lot of things we had to refactor. You know, splitting into files added a whole new host of problems. So yeah, that's one thing I wish I changed. Yeah. So yeah, moving to Vite, moving to TypeScript, splitting into multiple files and folders such that we're happy with the structure, and cleaning up and refactoring were the main tasks of this week, and I'm pretty happy with the outcome. What we're doing next week, we're going to change one thing. So you know how we reduced it from 7 object return types to 6 by getting rid of the string? We're actually going to move it down from 6 to 3. So instead of having list of entries and entry as a return type, we're always just going to have list of entries, list of workouts, and list of exercises. Because even if you have one of them, we can just return it as a list of 1. And I think that would make it easier to pass here, because then we don't have to account for the 2 different types and 2 separate bits of code. So that's one thing I want to do next week. And then I want to complete the rest of the read endpoints. So we currently have get all. I want to get like get by ID, get by name, get by date. I want all those done, and you know, something to pass in what like get ID, get by ID. I want to be able to pass in 1. Not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but maybe to start off with, it will just be a little search bar. But yeah, that's the plan for that. And then yeah, change the backend to support the 3 data types only instead of 6. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything. Have I shown everything? This is how the files all look. They look kind of nice. I'm pretty happy with it. This is the main. So this used to have everything in it, and now it's just a few lines. There's actually more import lines than actual code lines. Our CSS is a lot more, but this is stuff that came with it, and I've taken out the parts that I don't like and kept the parts I do like. And I think I've only added, this is my part. But the rest of them are like select pieces from the original Vite.css. I think this is for environment variables, but I haven't had to figure this out yet, and I'm not really sure what this is, but we'll look into that as well. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. Bye.